Here's an example where we will use some algebra to solve a problem in order to find an angle measure. Very typical question in a geometry class where we have to use something we've learned from the last course, our algebra class. So here's a situation where it says angle KPL and angle JPL are a linear pair. And then the measure of angle KPL is 2x plus 24. The measure of angle JPL is 4x plus 36. What are the measures of each angle? So the first thing I want to do is I like to draw a diagram. Geometry is chock full of diagrams. Anytime you see something that's not drawn out, draw it out as much as you can. So I decided to draw a linear pair, which I've got here. I haven't labeled it yet. I will do that next. And so I have basically KPL. You got to put P as the vertex, so that has to be P. We're going to put K, P, L. And then the other one is JPL, so this will be JPL. So those are the two angles. And so I just drew a linear pair at random, and this is what we're looking at. So I'm going to move this down here. And what we know about a linear pair is from the postulate, the linear pair postulate, that the two angles are supplementary. So I know that this angle plus this angle add up to 180 degrees. So I'm going to simply write out an algebra problem taking the measure of the first angle, 2x plus 24, plus this angle, 4x plus 36, has to equal 180, because that's what the angles have to add up to, 180 degrees. Let me move this out of the way a little bit here. Let's solve this equation for x. So we'll combine our like terms. So we got 6x plus 24 and 36 is 60. I will then subtract 60 from both sides. That gives me 6x equals 120. I'll divide by 6, divide by 6. X is 20. Now that's not our answer. That's simply what x is. We want to know the measures of the angles. The answer is not 20. The answer is when we take 20 and we plug it back in up here. We will take 2x, 2 times 20, plus 24. That'll be the measure of KPL. So 2 times 20 is 40. 40 plus 24 is 64 degrees. So as we look at this, we see that KPL is 64 degrees. Now, right off the bat, I say, uh-oh, something seems to be wrong. Well, it looks wrong because this looks like an obtuse angle, okay? But the only reason it's wrong is because when I drew the linear pair, I chose to draw it this way with the line here and then this going out this direction. You know, it doesn't matter what the linear pair looks like. I could easily have done it this way and gone that way. That would have been the right way because the 64 would have been here. So this is correct. Angle KPL is 64 degrees. It just looks wrong in my drawing, but that's not important. As long as you stay consistent and make sure the math works out, then you're good. So 64 degrees would be this one up here. I'll write it over here to make it a little more accurate. And then the other one, basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 180 minus the 64. And so I'll grab my calculator and I will do that. And I'll do 180 minus 64. That gives me 116 degrees. And again, that would be this angle. And even though it looks wrong, it's not, because it should have been this drawing down here, where the 116 would have been the bigger one. So I know that 116 degrees is there. I know that both of these answers are correct.